Join me for a Cowboys Morning Brew on Boom Broadcasting and on Fans First Sports Network for the star-studded Cowboys Network. Yes, it's Monday morning. Join me with your cup of Joe, and we're going to talk Cowboys. This new show is 6 a.m. Monday through Friday, and we're not going to miss a beat. This is your new show for the regular season, and you guys have to forgive me. It's early. And if you're on the West Coast right now watching at what would be 3 a.m., if you're a psycho like the West War Room Rivals, uh, much appreciated. But the great thing about this is it will be available on demand on Spotify through Fans First Sports Network with the Star-Studded Cowboys Network, and on Boom Broadcasting's video feed. It's going to be available on demand. So if you're not up at 6 a.m. with me, then you can watch it later. You can watch it on your ride to work. You can watch it on your lunch break. You can watch it later in the evening. But we're going to be giving you content super early this fall season, especially on Boom Broadcasting, where there's a lot of shows going on. But cheers. Cheers. So forgive me, I'm going to be sipping my coffee, and we got a lot of stuff going on now. It's pretty early. Don't know. I've tried looking at the headlines this morning, but I just rolled out of bed. But what I wanted to talk about for the first ever episode was we have to recap a lot of what happened in the preseason. Like, what is going on? So I have 5 things I want to talk to you about when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys and their preseason. Number 1, Joe Milton is a project. Joe Milton is very exciting. He has a very high upside of potential. Okay, Dallas, I think fans were really spoiled when it comes to backup quarterbacks. Now, we did go through the years, especially with Tony Romo, where we had the Brandon Weeden. We had John Kitna was okay, but we had to put Mark Sanchez out there at one point. It looked bleak. I believe we've even seen Ben DiNucci start a game for us. And that is bottom of the barrel bad. Bottom of the barrel. And you saw that in that Atlanta Falcons game. But we don't have Trey Lance. That project, the number 3 overall pick from a few years ago, I think he's with the Chargers now, maybe even the UFL. You have Cooper Rush, who decided to go to Baltimore. But now you have Joe Milton, a 2024 6th-round pick that the Cowboys ended up acquiring basically for a 5th-round pick. But they did get a additional 7th-round pick with it. So it's not that bad. It's really not that bad, guys, of value when it comes to a backup quarterback. But everybody hates on Dak Prescott. You better hope he doesn't get hurt. I mean, the guy right behind me needs to be right behind the offensive line this year if Dallas wants to compete in a very tough NFC East. Got to take a quick morning Joe because our Joe Milton, we do not want to see you on the field. He needs a full season, just learning how Dak operates an offense with George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb and Kevontae Turpin. That's what Joe Milton needs to do. But speaking of some of these receivers run deep. I mean, we talked about CeeDee Lamb. We talked about George Pickens, how they acquired him. Now, when I say deep, this team definitely lacked a number 2 receiver behind CeeDee Lamb and Jalen Tolbert and Cavante Turpin and Jonathan Mingo couldn't be that guy. Ryan Flourney, they couldn't be those guys right behind CeeDee Lamb. George Pickens can be, which makes, as long as Lamb and Pickens are healthy, which makes Jalen Tolbert a very vital wide receiver 3. Cavante Turpin, you can put him as a weapon anywhere. Jonathan Mingo might start the season on PUP. He could be out the first month or so, maybe 4 to 6 weeks with an injury. And that could potentially depend on if he takes up a 53-man roster spot, could impact whether one of these other receivers stay on the team. You have Ryan Flourney. Do they give up on Flourney? Do they have this guy I'm really high on? I wrote an article for Pro Football Insiders. Trayshawn Holden, the undrafted rookie from Oregon. He could be a vital part not only of this receiving game, but he's a run block receiver in what should be a run block scheme. And Jalen Brooks was huge. I mean, it would be really hard to cut Jalen Brooks because of all the plays he made. And you just don't know what your running game's going to be. That's another thing I brought out of the preseason. Javonte Williams is set to be the starter. And I don't know why. I feel like Jadon Blue has a lot more upside, a lot more potential. I think Blue could very well be named the starter midway through the season, even though people are impressed with Javonte Williams. But some people are impressed with Miles Sanders. Who saw that coming? And then you have Malik Davis, who just got signed off the squad and had a blockbuster opening week. Kind of trickled down, the last couple of weeks, especially as Blue got healthy. But what do you do with Hunter Lipke? Does he still have a spot on this roster, or could Phil Maffa do a lot of what Hunter Lipke would do for an offense? Because Lipke, you can use him in several different ways. Can Phil Maffa be that guy, especially as a bigger bruiser back, who actually had some explosive runs when he got the rock? I mean, using a draft pick on Phil Maffa, like, they have to keep him on this roster. You guys, this is what you're getting at 6 a.m. I have so many thoughts in my mind. But there's just so much in this preseason. I want to make sure you can listen to this on your ride home or as you're getting ready in the mornings, as I'm about to do. But where's Phil Maffa fit into this? Because I don't think you can let him walk, because I think somebody's going to pick him up. Deuce Vaughn, he is somebody fans just want to get behind. He has a really cool story, and he's a different back than any of these guys. He is that gadget back. He's a very Darren Sproles-like player, and he showed some good moves, here the last couple games, especially the Atlanta game. But you can only have so many guys on your roster. It's a 53-man roster. Practice squad is getting brought up to 16 players, which is a lot. It's a lot. So can you sneak Deuce onto the practice squad if you really want to? Potentially. But this running back, there's no one who's going to be stand out, especially if you're drafting for your fantasy team. I wouldn't draft Javonte Williams. I wouldn't draft Sanders or Blue even. I wouldn't touch one of these running backs because it literally could be anybody any given week. Speaking of anybody, any given week, is the pass rush. Pass rush is fun. Pass rush is a blast. You have James Houston, who is on the bubble. You have Peyton Turner. You have Tyrus Wheat. You have Solomon Thomas. Let me stop there. Not even Solomon Thomas. You got Sam Williams and Donovan Ezeraku and Dante Fowler, Marshawn Nealon. Like, I have even named the guy who may not have a week one suiting up is Micah Parsons. I've even mentioned him. But this pass rush can be fun. I don't know if the Cowboys are able to keep James Houston because their edges are so deep. But can you imagine any of these guys in the rotation with an elite player like Micah Parsons, one of the best pass rushers in the NFL, if not the best pass rusher in the NFL? You got to sign Micah, and I'm sure if they haven't signed him by midweek, we're going to be doing another episode of Cowboys Morning Brew solely on Micah Parsons. What won't be fun is the corners. The corners are a major concern. They're holding out hope that Trayvon Diggs could make it back for week 1, maybe week 2. But right now you have Deron Bland, you have Kyer Elam. Israel Mukwamu's made some plays, but I feel like he's fallen a little bit under the depth chart with Kamon Hall, Zion Childress. CJ Goodwin, the only chance he has is special teams, let's be honest. But Siobhan Revel, 3rd-round pick, he's recovering from a knee injury. Kalen Carson's questionable. Kalen Carson might be a surprise cut this year. He might be a surprise cut this year. Andrew Booth, what do you do with him? Could cut him. Troy Pride might sneak him on the practice squad, but whatever active corners we have week 1 is going to be quite the concern. It might not be as big of a concern as my final point on the Cowboys Morning Brew of what stood out for the preseason. This run defense looks so bad. And I know what people are going to say. Osa Odigizua didn't play. The starting linebackers didn't play. But if you just look at where guys were, they struggled. They struggled. We have Solomon Thomas. I like him. Perrion Winfrey made a lot of plays whenever he had an opportunity. I really want to keep Perrion Winfrey on this team. Jay Toya, it might be a little too early for him, but he's a nice project. But my big concern, Mozzie Smith. As a 1st-round pick, you have to develop and you have to be a better player than you were the year prior. And if Jerry Jones isn't wanting to pay Micah Parsons, we'll touch on that on another episode this week for Cowboys Morning Brew. If Jerry Jones isn't wanting to pay Micah Parsons, he shouldn't be keeping Mozzie Smith on the roster. He is that bad. As a defensive tackle, you cannot let people run on you. I know he got a sack or whatever this past week, but he's a big disappointment. And I don't know if you outright cut him. I don't know if you can get some sort of compensation for him, but everybody knows he's bad. Everybody knows he's bad. So I'd be hurting if I thought Mozzie Smith was a good addition for this roster. And do not be surprised if Mozzie Smith is on that list of cuts happening tomorrow afternoon. Speaking of cuts, there's already been one, Lyle Collins, and we'll be seeing more roster moves over the next 24, 30 hours, give or take. We are going to be talking about these cuts, any that come in over the course of today, and potential pending cuts. And we're going to do, hey, keep or cut with this Dallas Cowboy roster after the offseason is wrapping up. But guys, thank you for joining me for your Cowboys Morning Brew. I had to get a commemorative cup as well as some Super Bowl records right here. Yes, it was a while ago, but we beat Buffalo in this one, and they still don't have a Super Bowl. So take that, Josh Allen and Neil Taylor. Neil, I gave you a shout out. One of the very few Buffalo fans I know. But that's it for your Cowboys Morning Brew. Thank you for taking a drink with me on Boom Broadcasting on the Fans First Sports Network. And we will be back tomorrow morning at 6 for another Cup with Michael Davis. Be sure to subscribe to Boom Broadcasting and follow the Star-Studded Cowboys Network on Spotify, which is a part of Fans First Sports Network. And it's the reason you can watch on YouTube and listen on Spotify, whatever makes it easier for your morning. But I got to get to work. I got to get dressed. Whether you are going to work or going to school or having a lazy day on the couch, you all have a great one. Enjoy the rest of your cup of coffee, and we'll see you back here for another Cowboys Morning Brew tomorrow morning.